Hello, my name is Prentice Williams. This is my Arduino project. My advisor is Dr. Kong. So here's a little bit about me. I'm born and raised in Las Vegas. I am currently attending Delaware State University. I am a sophomore and I'm an avid reader. I love to play the guitar and I love to create different things. So here's a little bit of motivation about my project. So my project is about checking your posture. So things may be a little more difficult if you're slouching, such as breathing and just your organs functioning at 100% capacity. Some people may also feel pain in their backs. Um, so it's a lot to do with the pressure that you're putting on your spine when you are slouching down. It's putting a lot of that your weight onto your lower back, which is really bad for it in the long term. Another thing is that a lot of people work from home or attend school from home now that COVID has come through, and hopefully it's going away soon. But a lot of people started to do everything from their homes and at desks. So my solution is to detect when a user will be slouching, and try to use negative reinforcement to uh, cause them to correct their posture. So every time that they slouch, I was thinking maybe to alert them with either a buzzer or a spray bottle. So every time that they do it, they'll start to know, hey, I shouldn't be doing this because I don't like to be sprayed or I don't like to hear that annoying sound. So there are a few pros and cons to my project. One of the main cons is that it is wearable technology. A lot of people don't like to wear technology due to their own skepticisms. Um, there are more pros to the cons though. One of the big pros being that you can wear this from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to go to a chiropractor or a professional to get them to help you correct your posture. It's not some crazy expensive full body suit that you have to wear while doing anything that you may normally do at a desk, whether that be watching something, a video, working on a project, playing games, or just doing any type of work. Another pro is that there's less long-term health risks. If you start to correct your posture early and continue to keep up your good posture, you won't have to worry about having a lot of back pains in your spine. You won't have to worry about being older and having a slouched or a hunched back, and your organs will just work at a better capacity. So here is the basic concept that I created. So I wanted something that is just going to attach to your back, and it's going to detect what's whenever you slouch by sending certain numbers that it reads to the Arduino. So the flex sensor, that's what's going to be sending the numbers. It's going to be attached to the user's back, and going to go to the Arduino. And once the Arduino knows that they're slouching, then it's going to tell the servo, hey servo, you need to turn right and pull the string, which is going to be attached to the spray bottle. And the spray bottle is going to spray the user with water or juice. I don't know why someone would juice, but with water. And that is the basic concept that I came up with. So my inspiration for this is a video I came across, and this is the video here. It is a human posture monitoring system that they created. So basically it is exactly what I said, where it will detect every time the user slouches, and it will alert the user and try to have them correct their posture after alerting them. Another thing that's inspired me is I have friends that sit at a desk 90% of the time that they're at home, and they've developed a lot of back pains, so they can't sit at a desk as long anymore because they start to get their pain, and they're even having to go see chiropractors just to try to help correct their spines because it's become misaligned. My parents also have a lot of back pains. My mom, for instance, She used to work when she was younger. She used to do a lot of work at a desk while she was studying to be a nurse, and while she was working in a nursing home, doing a lot of the paperwork. Um, and over time, that's just led to a lot of her lower back problems and what's causing her a lot of pain, or not a lot of pain, but random spurts of pain. So these are the main components that you will need if you want to recreate the project yourself. So you will need the Arduino, of course. That is what's going to be telling each part, or reading in the data and telling the other parts what to do. The next thing you'll need is the servo. So you will need the servo to cause the spray bottle to actually spray the water. You will need resistors. I believe I used I want to say 40K resistor in mine. But those can be adjusted as well, depending on what you want to use. And you will need a flex sensor. There are a few different types, but they're relatively inexpensive for only about 10 to $15. You can get them on Amazon. Oh, and another part that you'll need is the string. That is really important because if you don't have that, it's going to be really hard to have the spray bottle actually spray. So here's the code behind my project. I can actually turn my webcam or move it so that, see that? So here's my code. So we have the flex pin here. So flex pin is the pin that the server, the pin that the flex sensor is connected to. So it is connected to a 0. The flex data, that is just the data that's going to be read into the Arduino. Pin 9 is this pin the servo is connected to. We have the starting position at 0, and when the servo needs to pull, we have that position set to 90. So here we have, this is the main part of the code. So it starts to read in the data from the flex sensor. And whenever the flex sensor sends anything under any values under 9, it's going to pull the servo. So it's going to have it actually spray the water. And once it reads in data that is equal to 9 or higher, it really didn't go over anywhere over 10. So I just set it to 10 or 9. It's going to just set it back to the starting position. Now, something I did think about not until very much later, literally as I was going over everything, was I could create a loop that'll continuously spray the water bottles so that every time, if they stay slouched and they get sprayed once and they just go back to slouching, it's not really going to be helping them. So every time that they're while they're being slouched, it's going to continue to spray them until they correct their posture. So here were the main challenges that I faced. My biggest challenge was my own time management. I did not manage my time properly in allocating enough time for the project itself. So I was a little behind on that. I was a little over ambitious. I wouldn't say crazy high ambitions, but I was not able to solder wires like I thought I would eventually be able to do. I don't have the tools nor the experience to actually solder anything. The parts can always be improved on. The spraying mechanism, it did not need a string for that. I did eventually find a spraying mechanism that the servo was connected to the actual nozzle of the spray bottle. Oh, my webcam is in the way again. And things I can improve on, I can always improve on different things like the spraying mechanism, the actual loop. I can write that into the code later on, but I could always improve on things and add them later on to the project if I continue to do it, and I probably will. So here's just the close-up of my actual project. All right, so here is the close-up of my project. Not exactly everything I wanted on it, but I've been having some difficulties with it. One being that when I try to use jumper cables with the flex sensor, um, the flex sensor wouldn't sit in the jumper cables because there's two separate cables, so it would constantly slip out of them on the
So
flex sensor.
I can actually let me mute this and just fast forward it. So here I'm just showing everything that's going on with it. How the servo is connected to the bottle and the string is connected to the is wrapped around the nozzle of the bottle, and what pins the servo and the flex sensor are connected to. All right, so in conclusion, let me turn my camera back on. In conclusion, I was able to execute the base idea that I did have. At the beginning, I showed the basic concept that I came up with. I was able to execute that. It is pretty cheap to innovate, so I can continue to add more pieces. I can get different, like I said, the servo with the spray bottle with the servo already built into it, so I can just rewire that servo and recode it. And I also learned more about how things actually interact with physical moving parts and code. Because prior to this, the only experience I have is the freshman project that we did with the Raspberry Pis and the robots. But that was something that we all had to do, so it's something that I didn't really focus on and get too much experience on. This project was really hands-on and self-learning, so it's a new step that I did learn from. So the future plans, so I do want to innovate this further and create a seamless version. So one that you don't even notice it's on your back. You won't notice anything around you. It's just going to, you put it on. It's not really anything you notice. It could be right on your shirt and just something that you just go about your normal routine and it just works as it's supposed to. Um, Maybe one that does not need to spray users. Maybe something that can interact with your computer, so it will flash something on your computer, and the only way to get it off of your screen is to correct your posture. A little more invasive, but it is something that would be a lot more noticeable and actually create a bigger problem, which slouching is a bigger problem. Um, and I want to create something that's maybe inexpensive, so anybody can create it. Create a do-it-yourself, a DIY of sorts. So that is the end of my video, and thank you for watching. I will be uploading the close-up. I will be uploading that link as well, so you can see the full close-up in HD on the YouTube.